Right.
Still, the one who stayed
The young professional are not coming?
Who?
The young professional that your son-in-law is running. I thought maybe they.
Too early for them, Sunday morning.
Yeah. Beautiful the place is.
Yeah, thank you. I think I got to bring out some more chairs. We got
No.
Right.
Really nice. Somebody could come in.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, you can use it.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Right there?
So
Yeah, fine. We have an Airbnb here?
we have rooms, we call them Airbnb, but people come and spend Shabbat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're walking.
People who want to experience Shabbat, the people who are visiting.
They hang out over here and.
All right, everybody, please find a seat. You may want to turn your chairs this way so you can see our speaker as well as the screen. How am I getting back? Hold on. Okay, thank you. There we go. Right here. So, I'll speak for myself, and I think I maybe reflect the feelings of many others in the room. These last few weeks, more so than even the last 15 months, have been excruciating. That's the first adjective that comes up for me, and I'm sure everybody's got their own adjectives. The torment of watching people who have been held captive for so long. On the one hand, watching them being reunited with their loved ones, but even the process of how they're being released, the evil that's in front of our eyes, and knowing the trade-off that's being made to save these people. There's so many mixed emotions and conflicting feelings and conflicting thoughts, which I think is what makes it excruciating. There's a saying that I keep on seeing: the people of Israel are strong. You see some of the hostages as they're coming out, the messages that they're giving is their gratitude to the IDF and to the people of Israel, the Jewish people, Am Yisrael, not just those in Israel, but throughout the world, for being strong. And I think the reality is that the fact that we're here as a people, 3,300 years plus later, the fact that Israel still stands today, the fact that we can navigate this absolute collective trauma is because we are strong. We're strong because we have God, because we have a Torah, and because we have brave men and women who are willing to risk everything to be able to save and protect their brothers and sisters in Israel, to preserve our land. So it's a great, really a humbling honor to have an IDF lieutenant colonel really any member of the IDF here is a great honor. We express our personal gratitude, even though we're Jews of the diaspora. Israel is our land, and we're grateful for you. And the Jewish people in Israel are our brothers and sisters, and we're grateful for you and all the members of the IDF for preserving our land and protecting our brothers and sisters. And so let's welcome Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Jacobs. And so he's going to give a talk following along with his slideshow, and then we're going to open up for question and answers, both about the current situation in general and in other words, the time that he's been in Gaza, as well as the current situation. I'm going to shut my mouth and let him do all the talking. So, hi.
Hello to you all. Daniel. Actually, my English is because I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. My parents decided to leave to Israel when I was age 3, so I just joined them and living in Israel for the past 43 years. Actually, I'm here for a week already in Atlanta. It's shocking for me to see how much support the Jewish community and also some Christian communities have to Israel. Actually, my wife would love that sign, Kabbalah and coffee. And my wife's into Kabbalah.
Broadcast every Sunday live on YouTube.
Wow. So I'm here for kind of like just giving talks and give the idea of what's going on in Israel. And also this week I'm going to Miami to have all kind of deals with the American Army for all kind of interesting gear we're getting for the specific missions in the area of the West Bank of Yudah Shamron. And so I'm Daniel, and I have 4 kids. And I'm going to see, I'll tell you the story. That's over here. It's working. That's my kids over there, see? And that's my real life. My real life, I actually have, I have a touring company. I bring groups to Israel, tour, teach, educate Israel. And I train tour guides for all kind of organizations like Birthright. And also I lecture in colleges for leadership. And that's what I do. I like doing that, teaching in people. But I'm not an officer. Like I don't like being an officer. I don't like going into missions and killing bad guys or arresting terrorists or whatever. That's what I don't like doing, but we have to do it because we have no other option. If we're not there, we're not going to be here. Which means if 70% of the army of Israel is reservists, and we were called up that day, on 7th of October, and we had to fight for our independence. As you know, we are now in the Independence War number 2, just like 1948, but a very different version. We have a big, strong, powerful army. We have a ready economy and everything, but still, we are fighting for our lives. Talking about my wife for Kabbalah, her two sisters are evacuated from the north. Her parents are evacuated from the north. I was not home for a lot of months. Our son actually joined the army. So actually, the whole situation is a little crazy. That's one family in Israel. So I'll tell you my story about this. And by telling the story, I'll tell you also what's going on in Israel now in the past couple months, and of course, current events. Actually, Aviva knows more than me what's going on, all kind of specific missions of, specific, they actually hosted me for a week in Atlanta. Amazing family. Toda rabah. And I think it's important to see the stories beyond what you hear in the news. And also I'll tell you things that are not in the news. Because the news doesn't want to show you all the things and everything that has going on. So this is a little background. I'm sure you guys know about how Israel looks. Who has visited Israel in the past year? 2 years, 3 years? Haven't been in Israel in your life? So, okay, we have, oh, interesting. You gotta come. I'm a tour guide. So, but really, guys, this is it's an amazing place to be, okay? And our small, tiny democracy in the middle of the Middle East, we have to understand that we're in the middle of the Middle East, okay? I always call this map Finding Wildo, okay? Because we're so small. And to always remember, we are the small country around. Okay, we're the small, tiny country. We're the minority. We are the small, tiny democracy. And we have 22 Muslim countries that don't want us over here so much. Don't want us in the Middle East. Especially our neighbors surrounding us over here. So we have two enemy countries in the north. We have a big, long border with Jordan, which Iran is coming closer and closer and more powerful, and actually funding all the gear and all the guns and RPGs where we are actually catching in the area of Judea and Samaria. They're coming from Jordan. And Egypt is kind of like cold peace with them, but it's cold peace. It's a fake peace. Means they're actually one hand shaking their hands and doing deals with gas and not going to economy with Israel. Other hand, they're actually putting in, they're smuggling into these borders over here with over here with Gaza into Israel. They're actually over here. This is a very, very important route over here. It's called the Philadelphia route, that they're actually smuggling from Egypt into Gaza lots of guns and RPGs, and everything they attacked us on the 7th of October came from Egypt, it's actually coming from Iran, Qatar, funding. And that's what's happening for the past 20, 30 years. They're actually developing a whole enormous amount of terrorists. And I personally found about 5 small laboratories of making guns or making RPGs or making Qassam rockets or making so many. That's what they do. And so it was actually came from, you also read this information about Gaza from Egypt and all the tunnels that's over there. So to go back to the maps over here, you can see that we actually, I was actually in charge of the West Bank area. When I call West Bank, it's not a curse. It's not like people say, hey, you say Judea Samaria. No, West Bank is fine saying because it's the British way of saying Israel. And sometimes, like over here. This map over here, 1917 map, is actually the map of, this is like the 2-minute introduction about the geopolitics about the area. Then I'll get into the story. This is actually over here, talks about what was part of Israel in 1917. We got this all the West Bank and the East Bank, which is this over here. This is the East Bank, that's the West Bank, was part of Israel. Given to Palestine, then called Israel, or then for the Jewish state. Then 1922, 23, it was divided to two. Herbert Samuel, the governor, Jewish governor. They call him like the Bernie Sanders of nowadays. Can I say that over here? Yeah. Okay. Okay, which means that actually he doesn't like the Jews, but he's Jewish. He harmed the Jews very much, I heard with Samuel. And he gave all this to a Hashemite kingdom, which now this is Jordan, king of Jordan, came from Saudi Arabia, and gave it to the other side, to the Jordanians. And this, of course, is part of Eretz Israel, belonged to Jews. And then 30 years later, again, it's divided to two. You see the two-state solution. The orange is Palestinian, Arab, and the blue goes to the Jews. Small, tiny country. He agrees with me even. She. And after the orange, of course, is going to be the after United Nations side, so to be Jewish, and the blue will be Arab, Jewish. Sorry, opposite. And of course, the Arabs say no, because you can't have Jews in the area. And the blue, after wandering around the world, after 2,000 years, after the Holocaust, will say yes to anything, the Jews. But the Arabs said no, and they launched an attack on Israel, the first independence war, 77 years ago. Same exact story, same exact conflict, also nowadays. The Arabs don't want us over here, and I'll show you pictures how they don't want us over here in their homes, what I see in their homes, and then when they go into arrest those bad guys. And the same reason, they don't want to live beside us. They want us to live instead of us. They want us in the sea. I saw the map now, but that little small map, it was interesting. I'll show you in a few minutes. Okay, later on, of course, 6-Day War. We were very good in short wars. 6-Day War was 6 days. That's it. Okay, Yom Kippur was a month and a half, 2 months max, and the reservists were there a few more months, but that's it, finished. Now, it's a year, almost in 5 months. What's going on? Why aren't we finishing up the job? So the deal, what's going on now, is a terrible deal, by the way. But it's important to get these girls and boys back. What do? Okay, one of my soldiers lost their leg, arresting a terrorist that's going to be released next week. So what is he feeling? Why should he lose part of his body? or some soldiers were killed and died for this mission of Gaza. This is a terrible deal, but still, guys, we're Jewish people. We got to get these people back. We got beautiful girls. They're doing their jobs. They were killed. They were taken. They were kidnapped. We got to bring them back. But this price is so high that that's why we don't understand the conflict we have in Israel. It's a difficult situation. This over here is actually where I was located. I was actually located over here in the area of Nablus, Jenin, and Tokal, that triangle over there. That's where most of my time was. And let's now go to the business. Now, so what do we see over this map over here? We see an Iron Dome. Where's the Iron Dome? Over there, right? We see the whole building of bomb shelters and the fence all around Israel. This is what happened in the past 20, 30 years in Israel. That's the high command conception of defense, which I disagree with. Okay, me and my guys, which when I say lieutenant colonels, generals, up to like high generals, chief generals, we disagree with the conception of this over here. We don't think the way of this defense is correct. Okay, the high command are promoting in the past couple of years only people who think like them, and there's a problem. So if you guys, why am I saying this? Because I always show the same example. If I punch you, and you say, okay, continue punching, but I'll put more sponge on my body, so I'm not going to feel the punching. It's okay. You continue hitting me. Continue launching missiles from Gaza into Israel. We have an Iron Dome. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen. We have bomb shelters. It's okay. It's okay. Kol beseder. So this concept of the big fence is going to defend us from the enemy instead of stopping the people from shooting to Israel. Instead of launching attack on the tunnels, instead of doing this, past couple of years, you hear every few years in the past, like right before the war, we're talking about like every few months they launch missiles and balloons and they go into tunnels and instead of solving the problem by stop attacking or stopping them from launching missiles into Israel. This was the conception. So the way this is what brought us to the 7th of October on the borders. And of course, the Gush Katif destruction of Jewish people living inside Gaza, that the whole people, the press was loving this in Israel. Supreme Court allowed it, of course. And they said, okay, if you take Jews out of their homes, it's okay for peace. But of course, the terrorists said, oh, we're taking a finger. The next mission is all of Israel. It's giving them an appetite for more. And this is what happened, and this was brought us to the day of 7th of October, that actually an attack on Israel. So I was called up to that day. I was at 11 o'clock getting a phone call from our officers. Daniel, we're going to be called up. Bring your guys. Talking about 700 soldiers under my command, up to 1,000 soldiers under my command. A lot of people, a lot of responsibility, a lot of families, and wait for the orders. So we go to the main base, like it's a base at the center of Israel, next to Jerusalem. We go to a base that's actually we pick up our guns, our vests, our magazines, everything. Half of my guys didn't get vests because we didn't have enough vests. I'm sure you heard about this, right? And I've got we're waiting in the base for orders. Now I hear the news, what's going on in Gaza as we speak. I see people butchering people on the road. I'm going. So I took my Jeep, got 7 guys in my Jeep, drove through towards Gaza. I went towards the road, right? And I see all kind of pickup trucks, those white pickup trucks, and I see people shooting each other. I said, okay, ready, guys? We started to think about what to do, how to come out of the car. And so then I get it. So my guys are already out of the car, and I'm the driver. So I stop the car on the side. My guys start shooting, and we see bodies all around. Like really crazy situation. Arabs, Palestinian, Hamas, bad guys, good guys. Then I get a phone call from an officer. He's a colonel. Dan, where are you? Where do you go? I said, I'm next to the road. What are you doing there? That's not our mission is over here. Not over here in Sderot. Our mission's up there. I said, okay, I was waiting for orders. And I heard the news. So I can't wait inside. Have guys, like people ask, where was the army? Right? Where were the soldiers when their kibbutzim and Nir Oz and the Bibas family was kidnapped? Because we're waiting for orders. The army did not know what to do. the high command has to have, and they do, but they were like, you're getting organized, getting this, well, people are going now. So yes, all the stories you hear, the heroic stories of people going and going from these kibbutzim is because people like us or just going and just doing what you gotta do. And the younger guys, the guys who are in the regular army, not the reservists like me, which is 30%, were also called up and they were there. And they were saving a lot of lives of people. So I had to stop, bring the guys back to my Jeep. When I turned around, my back glass was exploded by a bullet. Thank God nothing happened, but we retreated and we just drove to our mission up here, between Nablus, Tulkarm, and Jenin. So the question is, you see over here, why didn't it happen over there that it happened over there? Is because that moment, actually the command did something good, is we were defending the Jewish communities inside that Judean Samaria. And also 22 battalions were actually also even more. 25 battalions were called up to the northern border because the Hezbollah was also getting it ready to attack because they see what's going on with Hamas, but they were blocked by the IDF. Thank God. If there would be an attack that day with the Hezbollah, half the north would not be here nowadays. Thank God. Baruch Hashem. Okay? So, as you can see over here, my troops are called up, and our missions are mostly to arrest terrorists. And then we do a lot of that. We arrested more than about 500 terrorists. We killed more than about 55 terrorists in our first Seviv. So first term of reserves was 5 months from October to the beginning of March. And you see all kind of guys coming from all kind of backgrounds. I have younger guys that just finished the army service or are students, or you have older guys who are now they have older kids and their families and they have work and they have jobs and leaving everything and go to defend Israel. And we have left wing, right wing guys. We have secular, but everything. We have everything in our unit. This is an example of arrest we do. That's actually one of the female soldiers we have. Not a lot. We have about 10 female soldiers in our unit. They're actually in charge of the dogs and other things. That's a sniffing dog. We're looking in this home for guns. We have intelligence. This house, actually, this guy over here is in charge of the terrorists in his unit. We found more like 17 guns in this house. We found in the baby crib. We found in the washing machine, in the back of the washing machine, like inside of the washing. Take apart the washing machine. We found guns inside, like about 12 guns in that washing machine. Crazy places, also pistols and explosives, and that's what they did. So what we do every night for 5 months, my guys, that in daytime we're planning this mission, and nighttime we are executing the mission. When do we sleep? We don't know. Actually, we sleep sometimes when we on the way to the mission. So this is actually one example of Avinam's mission. Avinam is one of our younger officers. He's like a 25-year-old boy. He's a student, amazing guy. He just got engaged. He's in charge of a company, like 30 soldiers. He comes to me for authorization of missions. You see over here, Avinam with 5 soldiers looking down to the mission. Over here, we all kind of like, everything is computerized nowadays. And like, I get the laptop from Avinam, a mission. After he gets the coordinates of terrorist's house, and that's how you do it, day after day after day. So Avinam does like 2 or 3 missions a week, and other guys do other ones. It's interesting how it goes. So this is Avinam's unit, Avinam's guys. Let's see if it works over here. All right. Okay, you hear them saying, ah, like that. Not saying so, it's a big deal. And of course, throughout the month, we have people dying. Okay, we have soldiers that are killed, friends of mine, because unfortunately, as you know, of course, 7th of October was a big 1,000 and almost 400 people were killed in that day. And since then, 500 soldiers more were killed. So we're almost 2,000 people that are killed in this war. It's almost getting to the Yom Kippur number of the war Yom Kippur. But this is a big trauma for Israel. Okay, it's not easy to lose friends, lose colleagues, to lose a soldier. This is Roy Levy's my good friend of mine funeral. His father speaking. This is just this is a school I learned at a modern Orthodox school in Jerusalem called Himmelfarb. 10 guys, 10 young, beautiful kids were killed in that only from 1 or 2 grades in the past war, from 1 high school. Okay, even the teacher, see the teacher down there on the left, he's one of the teachers that was killed. He's a rabbi of a unit. And he was killed it was killed a few months ago, actually. And Aner, the famous Hirsch is over there, and Aner is over there. All kind of famous more the celebrity stories. But crazy guys. Everyone here is a hero, just going and serving. I remember I took Nikki Haley around a few days when I was a tour guide, and she's a very amazing advocate for Israel, and she knows a lot of Israel. And we actually got to the conclusion: if everyone in America, she said, if I be president, I'm going to make every young person in Israel just like the Israelis do, but not 3 years, 1 year, 1 year of service to the country. Not like soldiers and guns, but serving to the community, hospitals, whatever, all kind of things. And that was amazing because when you give, you get. When you give to someone, you serve the country. That's one of the reasons why our country is a very, very good country. And it's a startup nation because you go to the university when you're 23, 24, start university, or 22, depends where. And you're mature, you know what's going on, you've been things, you saw things, okay, and there's a different kind of concept of a country. You not only take from the country and how can I make money and also that, but also how to give, how to build up, how to create, how to become a family, how to help each other. That's a big thing in these schools they teach. That school is an amazing school. And this is my son, my soldier that was killed. Elchanan, his wife over here, is actually pregnant. And this is actually Elchanan, where you see him over here. That's me over there. On the right is Elchanan, and that's over here. Interesting thing you see of this guy. See the guy over there? He's a mini terrorist. Okay, he shows a big block on the car. Then he tries to go into the car, maybe kidnap or take whatever he wants to take. But then Elchanan sees him. Elchanan, my soldier. This is a few days before he was killed. He just drives by with the car. And he goes and he starts to sell the problem, but now he sees a guy coming back. Look, you'll see the guy coming back now. What do you see over here? You see, look where he's shooting, Elchanan. Look where he's shooting his legs. See, look, he's shooting his legs. See the legs? Boom, boom. See the leg? Okay, why? Because the laws of engagement, now he's killed because he's close. He's a threat. The laws of engagement, that's crazy. Okay? When I say, this, you saw this live, guys. It's a video. Okay, now this guy, you can't shoot. He's going back because he doesn't want to kill him. Because he has a brick. He's not a super terrorist. He's a mini terrorist. Is there something? Right? But he has a threat. So if you're close like this, I can shoot to kill. But if you're there, I can't shoot to kill because it's too far. You're not a threat to my life. So that's how crazy it is. Also in Gaza, we have these situations of going to homes which we could not destroy because it could be there's innocent people inside. What's innocent people in Gaza? Are there innocent people in Gaza? In the middle of a war zone, in the middle of a military area, after we sent all the pamphlets of please leave the home because we are going to come, which that's so stupid to do because it's the opposite of the normal tactics of elements of surprise, whatever. But because we have to do that, because our Supreme Court makes us do it. So in the beginning, we had situations where if it's a terrorist house, or in West Bank or in Gaza, so we bring a neighbor to open up the door. The Supreme Court does not allow us to do that. So the Supreme Court said, I prefer not interfering other people, but our soldiers, which means the Supreme Court of Israel prefers soldiers dying than enemy people. It's not an enemy; it's a neighbor. We could argue about that, but so it's crazy situations, guys. Crazy situations we're dealing with all the time. Not to become moral, to be moral. We're the most moral army in the world. I wish the American army would do that when they go into Afghanistan or Iraq years ago. And my unit trained the Green Berets to go into Iraq. We know how they fight. Amazing guys, but they don't think moral. They think mission. We think moral and also mission, but that's not so good. That's one of the reasons we're not finishing at the job now. Because you can conquer a village called Sajaiya, northern Gaza. And then you retreat back. What did you do? Why are you retreating after you conquer a place? Stay at the place and build a mini base there and reinforcements and make sure no one's coming back. Nope, retreating. Why? Because of all kind of politics, America's pressure, this pressure, that pressure. But then what happens? The Arabs, terrorists are coming back to the place we just conquered. So we'll do it again. 4 times Sajaiya was conquered. And 51 soldiers were killed when they conquered the place. Of Nachal, a lot of Nachal units. Why? Why should my soldiers be worth less than enemy civilians? It's a question that I have no answer to, because you should ask the high command or the politicians, not me. And I'm losing my guys and their motivation to come. I have the second deployment we'll see in Gaza. We go. I said, I don't want to come, Daniel. The command doesn't know what they want to do. Why should I come? But they came. They came because they're supposed to do that. So over here is this always we come and visit Elchanan's family. This is an example of Elchanan's family. I have also Roy Levy's family. Other families we visit. Unfortunately, we have widows. We have injured soldiers. This is girls of our unit coming. This is one of my missions to have is it's a mess. It's a mess of a house because she has no will to clean it up. So we organize cleaners to help to clean up the house even. Okay, I wanted to organize that nice empty wall for a nice picture of Jerusalem. This is my colleague who replaced me, Shmuel. Oh, you can see it's a video, it moves, but it's not moving here. But you see the baby. See the baby there? That's the baby he did not see because she was pregnant. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's okay. Okay, so as you see, injured soldiers, you see younger soldiers, older soldiers. Okay, he's one of our first younger soldiers. He's 22 years old, just joined the unit, and he's 30, almost 42 years old. One of our older soldiers, and that's Yotam, a good friend of mine. He has 3 bullets in his body. 2 are still there, and we have guys with no parts of their bodies, you can see over here. So we're continuing, and wait, what happened here? Okay, so okay, we see over here also nice terrorist. Terrorist who killed 2 Israelis holding his baby. Looks very naive, but he's not. Of course, he's arrested, and I hope he's not going to be released soon. We see the girls over here that actually were part of the Tatzpitaniot. Your Tatzpitaniot, the name, the girls watchers, the girls who actually were brought back now from Gaza. That's what they did. They were watching the borders with the cameras. That was their job. Didn't have guns. They were not warriors, but they were watchers. And this is what happened to their base. It was burnt and destroyed, and they were kidnapped, and they were, worse than that, also killed. Okay? But these girls were posted in my base in the middle of Jenin, so they were the same course of the girls that were kidnapped, but they were, of course, they were crying in the beginning because their friends in the course were kidnapped and killed. They were with us, but now it's they're beautiful girls. So this is also an issue we are dealing with when soldiers of mine are dealing with after 4 or 5 months. Actually, this was after 3 months when one of our platoons had a friendly fire issue, which they killed by accident a different soldier from a different unit, which is the worst. Okay, so. I was looking for therapy for these guys. These guys needed therapy. They couldn't. So I said, guys, you're not doing any missions for a few days. You're staying in the base or going. First, go home, relax, come back. And meanwhile, at the same time, I called up friends of mine to get organized to get therapists. There's no therapists available in Israel that time because everyone's too busy. Even now, there's no therapists. Why? Because they're busy with the families evacuated. from the Nova Festival, people who were there and traumatized. You have people, the families who are victims of terrorism. You have so many situations where people need therapy. We're a country that needs a therapy, big therapy. We're not PTSD. We're still in the post didn't come yet. We're still there. So I got Barbara, that woman over there with the black thing from New York. She's a professor for psychology. She brings one of her students with her, and she's in my base after 2 days after my phone call. Amazing. For 3 days, she was talking with those 30 guys. The company. It was an issue with English, but it was not. We solved that problem. She knows Hebrew, kind of like that language between. Talks about types of depression. I don't know how that helps, but whatever. She knows. I'm not a therapist, but it helps. It helping. And after we got to the conclusion that we got that actually it was interesting because I took her back at night after 3 days. She had to have a normal bathroom already. She said, I gotta go to a hotel. She went to a hotel in Jerusalem, and 12 o'clock, we can't find a taxi from Nablus to Jerusalem. Good luck. That happened. So I took her, my Jeep. So I said, I have an hour and a half drive with a psychologist in my car. What am I gonna do? Talk about my mother. Right? Let's do barter. I'll give you a taxi, you give me psychology about my mother, whatever. So wife, mother, it's a whole thing. Yeah, my wife does not get along with my mother. That's a problem, right? Big problem. That's what I talk about. Whatever. So so we see over here also we started me and her actually not only spoke about my mother, of course, also we spoke about organization. We have to continue this therapy. So we started an organization called Our Family First. Okay. This was in the news actually. Also, we got to the news. You see guys working with couples after the first deployment. We see a situation where the guys coming together and talking to their wife. I told this to the couple over here a lot of times, but it's a very, very complicated issue of going back and forth. It's not like Afghanistan or Iraq going for a year. You go back and forth. You go 3 weeks, come back home for a weekend. Go 2 weeks, come back home for a weekend. Go for a month, come back home for a weekend. So when you these things and you kill and you arrest people and even you kill the babies with terrorists, you see things not easy. Okay, and then you go back home to change diapers or your wife wants us to enough. I'm tired. You take him now. You take the kids. I want to go home I want to take coffee with the girlfriends. I want to rest. I'm not. I didn't go. I wasn't on vacation. I wasn't in missions. You have issues. Some of the guys didn't want to go home. Really, some of the guys did not want to go home. Some guys are getting divorced. This is a long, long war. That's even the issue. The families have issues. Now, this you don't hear in the news. This you hear from a commander who has lots of soldiers who are dealing with these issues of families falling apart. So not only the couple can be strong, but then the daughter, the girls the kids are troubled. The guys talks about the Shabbat was a very nice Shabbat and how they spoke about things. And it was a very nice Shabbat. And then you hear back and forth all the time about guys going back and forth. This is a presentation about guys. This is Shmuel, my friend. And then this is my medic. This is Ohad, my radio guy. And actually, he's a lawyer that was fired from his firm. He was fired from his firm, a lawyer that was fired from the firm. He sued his firm and he won. And actually, not fire a soldier when he's in reserves, but they did that. So, of course, he won. He started his new firm. Fine, Yofi. He's Yudam, second in command. Also, he has a travel agency, and he is in the third middle over there, and also is they're trying to get for Yuda, for example, they're trying to get pregnant for 5 years already. So now the war was always going, making more crop now. So I had to release him from the base because he said, Daniel, we gotta go. Time. Okay, but we have tomorrow night no, you gotta go. Bye. Okay. Babies are more important. Jewish babies are more important. This is the girl. You see the girl with the red dress? She's when her father leaves, he's a logistic officer. When he leaves the house, she gets a panic attack because she's an older girl. She hears what happens to fathers who go to the army and war. Sometimes don't come back. She can't leave her room. these things also, guys, are not in the news and not what's going on. This is one of our toughest officers, Nehemiah, with his beautiful two blondies. He just killed 10 terrorists. Like he has the highest rate. This is Yoav, my medic, that actually had to treat a terrorist and save his life, because we had to have this terrorist investigated. So you had to take this big fat smelly guy, serious, big fat smelly, and he had to take care of him, make him not die, because after he shot at my guys, we shot him, and now he has to be with him. Crazy situations, guys. It's not, and it's because we're moral, remember? So we have to take care of him. This is also my son. Like as I tell Eyal over here, it's my favorite picture, because you see my son playing the piano. I can't hear anything here. You gotta hear him play the piano. So you see over here my son, who actually is an amazing musician, and he's an artist. He's a soul, as a beautiful guy, beautiful boy. But then in the middle of the war, I was out of the house. Now we have to send him to the army, because he's now, after he went to yeshiva year, then he goes to the army. Boom. So you have him going join the army. So I have my wife blessing him, of course. And this is a crazy situation. I'm in the war. My son's going to be in the war. Her parents are leaving are kicked out from their homes. Her two sisters are. Good luck for a normal life in this war. Isn't he an amazing pianist? Beautiful boy. Okay. Oh, you hear me in the background. Cool. Hello, shalom. So this is going back to missions. You see over here, this is actually a project we did of some also motivation for soldiers. My main goal is to have my guys focused in their missions, because it saves lives. Very simple. If they're not thinking about the wife and troubles at home, they think about the mission and doing good. So this over here is actually a project we did we actually had a Arki terrorist, like a very big terrorist in some village next to Ariel. And I saw on the maps that right next to his house was the tomb of Joshua bin Nun. Joshua bin Nun and Caleb ibn Yefuneh, like two generals in the Bible. Remember two guys? You know, right? Joshua bin Nun, right? You know who he is.
Caleb and Joshua.
Yofi. And so their burial sites are there, but so I went after we finished the mission, the guy was already taken to the base. I mean, me and some guys went to the tomb, and we saw it was stinky, it was dirty, it was like the Nazi symbols on them. It really, and the marble was broken. So I said, guys, that's our next mission. Our next mission is not a terrorist. Our next mission is to fix up the tomb. We spoke to the council. They gave us paint and all kind of things like that. And we came with about 70 to 100 soldiers, about 3 nights after, like a mission, because we're going to our village with the bad guys over there. So it's a mission, but an educational mission. My guys were so feeling so good after this, because because also secular soldiers who have no connection to religion were moved and had a good feeling about that. So this over here is one of the tunnels that we found going into Israel, not in Gaza, not in the north, but in the center of Israel. This was not in the news. Under Route 6. Under Route 6, there were tunnels coming from Kalkilia into Israel. See those trees over there? Back in the trees is the highway, one of the most busiest highways in Israel, called Route 6, or toll road. And that tunnel was right next to the thing, going under the Route 6 and going up to all kind of other factories, which was Arab Israelis factories, called Jaljulia, and coming up over there and attacking Petah Tikva or Kfar Saba, which are big cities in Israel. Or Manana. This was not in the news because they didn't want people to be afraid because of what's going on. But that's my guys finding them. Of course, we destroyed them, and we bombed and destroyed them. This over here is also what you see inside when you go into homes. When you go into homes, you see nice. You don't see big pictures like this in homes. You see pictures of terrorists. You see pictures of shahidim. Shahidim are the people who kill Jews. And that's what they do since they're babies. They teach to kill. The role models are the people who killed. and the murderers. This is not what I'm saying. This is not a political opinion. This is not a issue. This is what you see in your eyes. Almost every house has this. Okay, if you admire Michael Jordan, a slam dunk competition, 1980s or 90s, they admire the people killing people. That's their role models. And I see what they teach in their school books about. They make up a whole new history. They make up the Jews conquered the Palestinians. They conquered there, took their land. All kind of nonsense. You'd be shocked. Every morning, Israeli soldiers rape Arab women. It says in the books. Really? When I go to arrest in the house, and if I have one of the girls I have a girl that after arrest because she did terrorism, or usually you find in the dresses some guns they're hiding in their own body because they don't want them to find. So I have to have a female soldier coming from the base and finding the guns or arresting the girls because I'm not allowed to touch a female woman. You know that? If I touch a Palestinian girl when I'm in my uniform, I could be arrested by the own IDF. That's how moral we are. Of course, if she attacks me, I can do whatever I want. But the suspects, I cannot. You get this? How crazy it is? And guys, say this to the people. Spread this to the world. They don't know these things of reality. They say, oh, apartheid, baby killers, and everything. I heard this. We heard this. But this is the truth. These are facts. You can't. And this little map over here, I just saw, they all showed me that over here, what do you see over here? You see the map of Israel. But there's no Israel over here. There's only Palestinians over here. It's not living beside us, it's living instead of us. And you see, where is the river to the sea? Where does the Jews live? In the sea over there, see? That's where the Jews are. Guys, this is reality. This is the true story of what's going on in the center of Israel. 9 miles from Tel Aviv. 1 mile from Petah Tikva and Kfar Saba and Jerusalem. We have to understand that the solution for this is changing the education system. It's very simple, but it's very hard. So remember what Golda Meir says? Actually, you met her. I didn't meet her because I wasn't even planned then. She said, when we have peace with Palestinians, what happens? When they love their children more than they hate us. Right? It's a famous saying. Also, same saying, she says, when we're going to have peace, not when, if we let down our guns, we're not going to be here. If they let down their guns, we're going to have peace. Guys, this is so now the correct way of saying it, it's hard to correct Golda Meir, but she's not relevant anymore because we see what they're teaching their kids. They are proud to send their kids to die. They give out candies when their sons are dead. I saw this with my own eyes. You see in Jerusalem and all kind of podcasts of news. The mother giving out candies when her son just now did a terrorist attack, either arrested or killed. Wow, my son is a shaheed. Can you imagine this in your communities, in education? It's crazy. And you're seeing this also, you see now in Gaza, when you see the keep people with those fake masks. Why fake masks? When they're giving back the girls, now you saw the news, right? They're fake masks, they're Amazon masks, I call it. Why? Because just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, when we were hunting them down, they would never put on that vest and then nip in those costumes. They were hiding next to the people as if they're his citizens. They were hiding like mice. Think they're coming out like that, like they came out with the guns? They would never come out like them when we're there. Now, when we came out and we retreated, oh, now they're bullies. I want to see those guys a few weeks ago, how they were acting. Like worse than that. Okay, we go back home after guys, we're almost finished. You don't have time for questions, okay? We go to Gaza for 2 months. Very, very different kind of deployment, very different kind of battles for my soldier. It wasn't easy to do the transformation because now you see a lot of no innocent people. Now you have a different kind of battle, bit different kind of battlefield and missions. And when I say is there innocent people in Gaza? So I'll tell you a story about what happened to the Bibas kids. Now the father came back yesterday, finally, Baruch Hashem, the father of the Bibas boys. You know that, right? The redheads. The father came back, started to say that most of the chances the kids are not alive anymore, and the wife. I say most because we don't know for sure, but we know probably 95% that they're not alive. This is one of the factories of making their guns. Second floor. My soldiers are in this first floor. We send a drone out, to find to do missions. And so next door neighbor of the Bibas family was a different family that were also attacked in the 7th of October in near Oz Kibbutz, and they were smoked out of the house because they were choking inside the security room. They jumped out of the window. No one was there. They were hiding in a bush. And who finds them? A 10-year-old boy from Gaza finds them in a bush, hiding. Hey, come! They're here. Take it. Is that 10-year-old boy a terrorist? No, he's a 10-year-old boy. He can't be a terrorist. Am I going to shoot a 10-year-old boy? I can't shoot a 10-year-old boy. It's not moral. But like you saw the education books, that's his dream. He wants to be a shaheed. 10-year-old boy. Remember 10-year-old grandkids or kids? What's going on here? But that's the situation. And about 6,000 people invaded Israel that day. 1,000 was the patrol and the forces and the trained Hamas terrorists, even more, 1,500, with maps of exactly where to go, how to attack, where to attack, who to attack. And 4,500 or even more were just the mob that could take, steal, rape, kill, whatever they can. And that's the innocent people in Gaza. That's why I have to have my soldiers maybe attack innocent house, and maybe dangerous of life because of that. These are my guys resting a few hours after a long attack. This is a house that was actually attacked by a tank because it was shooting from side to side. It was making us crazy, this villa, because it was shooting from here, then shooting from there. So we knew there was for sure a tunnel over there. This is an example of how a house looks after a tank attack. And the innocent people in this house, as you can see, look on your right, you'll see a tunnel. Boom. See tunnel? That's the guys, this is what I see all the time. We see almost every other house has a tunnel. It's like here in North they have basements. No? Every house has a basement. Okay, and that's the situation, guys. This is the tunnels you see. Now this is a cheap tunnel. Now we got to conclude now. A cheap tunnel means there's a tunnel with rope. A little higher level and more a richer guy has a ladder, and the rich VIP guys have a stairs. That's the high level of the terrorists. Okay. And now we're talking about the drones. The drones is a life-saving device. Our drones were going into the floors before my troops. A life-saving device. Now I did not have drones. I got to the missions, and the army said, Daniel, go do X, Y, Z. I said, I need a drone. He said, no drones. Well, they give me a drone, batteries don't work, and the night vision doesn't work. Not work. So I had to organize my own drones from what? From connections from America. I have a company of tourism. I got connections in America. I got people in Chabad or whatever. I asked them, guys, I need drones today for my missions. Why? Because they're saving lives. At least 5 to 10 soldiers of mine were saved because of drones. Serious. You see, it's eyes in the skies. And I'll show you an example of a drone. See the guy? You see a drone? That's my back of my car, my Jeep. That's white. See the white car driving there? The white car over there? He's actually driving, and he's looking at my soldiers doing a mission. You'll see my soldiers going in over here. See my guy just walking in. See the guys over there? Those guys are walking into the village, and they're walking like that. And actually, most of our missions are at night. 95% are at night. 5% are daytime. This was a daytime one. And you can see that the guys are watching. The terrorists are watching there on the right screen for the IDF to come. And then you can see. And then it's the white Jeep that you saw, the white car driving around. He was actually shooting at one of my soldiers. My soldier got a bullet in his butt. The best place to get a bullet is the butt. Okay, very soft, very kind. But we just laughed at him in the hospital because he was always on his butt. But we arrested him after we caught him. So the drone caught him because the drone was following the car, driving. And then we see him parking the car, covering the car with some other sheet or whatever. It goes into a house. So I sent the location, the coordinates to the officer in the field. And then we get him, we get the guy who shot at my soldiers. Okay? And he's the guy that we arrested him. We found in his car. This is what we found in his car. The white car we saw, this is what was inside the car. But the worst thing is not the guns, it's not the ammunition, it's the checks. The checks are from Sweden. Checks from Sweden. What are the checks in Sweden doing in this car? It's called funding terrorism. Very simple. A family in Sweden or a bank through a bank, could be from Qatar, it could be other countries around, through the Swedish banks, they send money to terrorists in Israel. That's what's happening. Guys, you're seeing in your own eyes. It's not an invention. This is funding for terrorism. A guy that gets money to shoot Israelis or do a terrorist attack. Okay? By the way, these guys are released already, unfortunately. More drones, guys, the drones is the best thing, really. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing we have. It's not working here, but you see a cool video of even people playing poker. See? So we can even show the guys what's the number of the other person. We tell them, guys, don't do it. Yes, do it. Gonna happen at the end. So over here we can see people going in. Also, this is our third deployment already. Our first deployment was 5 months, then 2 months in Gaza, then going back to the area of Jenin again, because we're very good in that mission in those areas. Again, going into missions of Jenin. Our third deployment. Guys, crazy. Only 70% of my guys came. Can't do it, Daniel. Can't do it. I have tested my campus. I have this, I have that. My wife's 9 months pregnant. Fine. Of course, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to try to argue, but not me, but my commander, my platoon commanders, that's their job to bring the guys. But I have no other complaints of soldiers who gave already so many days and so many time and effort. This is actually an interesting story because the terrorist who actually was waiting for my guys. Imagine the guy walking in the street over here, back and forth, right next to the base, the suspect. What's going on? My guys catch him, and they take his phone, and they say, "Okay, what's in your phone?" They look at the picture they see in his phone. His screensaver is this. Okay, do we arrest him? And we didn't give him time to call or to warn people. That day, we came to his house. We found lots of guns, lots of ammunition, lots of propaganda against Israelis, and that's what we do all the time. This is an interesting, Fauda? These are my guys, Fauda, but the real Fauda. Yep. Okay, good looking, huh? These guys. That's platoon number Gimel. They always brag. That's their job, to brag. Also motivation missions, which we call the motivation missions. I send companies to company commanders and their unit soldiers to Aza envelope to visit oh, that's me in the background. So you see over here people actually for motivation. Again, it's the most important part of a commander is to have his guys focused on a mission. Because if not, they're gonna not come home back alive. And this is also an example of what we did to honor our fallen soldiers. We built a deck right next to the base, and you see we had a relay. You know relay, living like So we had a race of 100 kilometers going from Yad Vashem Museum in Jerusalem. Okay. No, they didn't run 100 kilometers. Like every platoon ran like 20. Like so 5 platoons and 5 guys ran 5. It's not we're not that strong. We're not. Okay. And you see guys over here. running, giving out the flag from unit to unit. Huh? Yad Vashem is the Holocaust Museum. Actually, we experienced a mini Holocaust on that day. But you see over here, you can't see the guys running. But you see them running and giving out the flag to a different group of 5 guys. And there was an amazing thing because imagine our soldier, or the family of soldiers. You see the deck. Okay, you see the base in the background. That's our base. And you see the guy. It was a big, nice ceremony we did. You see the guys' families over there. And it was a nice production. It was a beautiful thing. Just have the families come. And so, guys, this is what we're doing. Have them understand what's going on in this area. Of course, presents is always good. Coffee kits for the non-sleeping soldiers, like all of us, and things for the soldiers. And it's always giving them, because we always have to make sure they're also have some free time just to hang out and have a good time. You know the barbecues people do all the time? See? Barbecues. A lot of Chabad ones. Well, I gave a lot of barbecue spaces and all kind of games we played with each other, like hunting games. And by the way, enough with barbecues. Enough. Too fat. Okay, so this is also another. This is our last 2 minutes. We're finished, guys. Time for questions. This is one of our projects of our unit. We invented actually a mobile gym. You actually take the gym into all kind of small, tiny army posts where it's dangerous to go out and you'd be attacked. So we organized that small thing, and it goes into any base, and it has actually opens up, and guys could train. It's an amazing thing. Also, donations, guys, investments, I call it, not donations. You see guys coming, training, and it has all that we do. Also, a good thing for soldiers. It's an amazing project. Last thing I'll show you, and I'll be finished and have time for questions, is that last day of our first deployment, I'm the first unit that we actually, because we have some guy working in the city hall of Jerusalem, one of my soldiers, so he got connections, and we were the first unit that actually finished their deployment in the Kotel, in the Western Wall. It's important for me as a modern Orthodox Jew to have the guys coming to the end of the service to come to the Western Wall, have a meaningful experience, and understand what do we do? Why did we do what we did now? Defend Israel from all kind of history and all kind of things that happened in the past. And the history comes and goes all the time. And here we are finishing our deployment in the Western Wall, which is very nice. And that's my last 4 minutes video. Read the English. And that's me talking over there to my soldiers. התכנסנו כאן היום, תקופה ארוכה מלאת עוצמה של לחימה. תקופה שהתחילה ביום הקשה והנורא של 7 באוקטובר, שבו זינקנו כולנו כדי לממש תקווה שקדמה על הסמל של הגלות שלנו, החובה והזכות. החובה והזכות האלה שלחו אותנו את שדה הקרב מתוך הבנה וידיעה ברורה שזו המשמרת שלנו, זו המשימה שלנו, ושלא נעזוב אותה כל עוד צריכים אותנו. ידענו את זה אנחנו, ידעו את זה בנות ובני זוגנו, ידעו את זה הילדים שלנו וההורים שלנו. כל מי שעומד כאן היום במדים ובלבוש אזרחי, כולנו התגייסנו, כולנו שירתנו. הגענו לכאן הכותל המערבי, הסמל הנצחי, ידענו את זה אנחנו, של הקשר בין עם ישראל לארצו. האבנים האלה מאחוריי ראו את אבות אבותינו, יוצאים לגלות לפני 2000 שנה, ראו אותנו, חוזרים לכאן, גלים אחד אחד ובקבוצות, מתחברים מחדש לארץ ישראל, מכים בשורש, מקיימים בית, מגדלים בילדים. האבנים האלה מבינות טוב, מאיתן, את הימים הגדולים שבהם אנחנו נמצאים. ימים של תיקון היסטורי של אלפי שנים. ימים של נראות של לוחמים, חברים, חברים מחדש, בין אחים ואחיות בנשק.
והפרק הזה מדברי ימי עם ישראל. יש בסוף סובר, אל תדברים עצמו. לא סתם מדברים את העם היהודי לאריה בתל אביב. לאריה יש שתי מצבים. יש את האריה השוכן, רגוע ושלם, בשגרה. ויש את האריה המזהה כלום לביתו, מגייס את כל כוחו ומסתער. אין כוח שיכול לעמוד איתו. אנחנו עם חזק שלו. אנחנו עם שהחלום הגדול יוצאים שלו. ולהיות איש אחד שיכול את האריה לעמוד. האישה עם הילדים, אבל שעומד מול אויב אכזר, אנחנו מסתמכים כמו אריה ומייצרים. ואתם, המפקדים והלוחמים שלנו, ידעתם כמו אריה. בואי תקפל, תצטרפתם, אפילו תצטרפתם והצלחתם לכל הכתוב. במעמד זה ישנו מימן של התרגשות ואף שמחה. אנו לא צריכים את חטאינו ואחיותינו שתכתבו באכזריות ב7 באוקטובר. ועדיין נמצאים ברגעים אלו.
It's amazing that I said this about 8 months ago and it's still happening and it's still there. So guys, thank you for listening. Now time for questions. The reason I'm actually this week we're here, first of all, is to learn and experience how the connection also the Jewish world and the Christian world, which we were shocked how you guys are supporting Israel. This over here is a sticker of my soldier. I have a lot of these more if you want at the other side of the Atlanta. But give you a smile, my brother. That's his motto, my soldier, some of my units. And so it's important for me to show you the story that you don't see in the news, don't see in the regular stories you hear coming from Israel. As a person that's responsible, but also not only the soldiers, but also their families and their kids and their wives. And that's it. So any questions? Yes.
What changes, if any, have you seen in Israeli society or politics, or the way the military is run? Or this stupid question since October 2nd?
Okay, so what's happening is that there's two kind of I feel the two kind of Israels: the real Israel and the fake Israel. The real Israel you don't hear in the news because the news is showing you, from my opinion, the fake Israel. And they'll show you the problems and the demonstrations of the left against the right and this and that. But real Israel, people are really helping each other, and the leadership, the young leadership, or the not young, but the leadership that's the middle command in Israel, has much more influence nowadays than the high command. We are not listening to the high command anymore because they are failed, and the guys that failed cannot win. Those guys cannot win. That's why me and my guys, we have an organization we started, not our family first one that taped, but more like active in politics. That we actually made the high chief general quit from his position. Okay, we told the Minister of Defense, if you don't fire him, we're out. 1,000 officers, which is almost half the army, like responsible for half the army. Because if I have 700 soldiers and we're times 1,000, it's a lot of people. So, he's quit, and I think that the spirit is making it's more stronger. The people, you see how they're helping each other. Families, like the first we had like issues with chef, our food in our base. People just knocked on our doors from the local community, said, we'll cook for you, Jewish communities. And it's amazing bonding and togetherness of really that's experience. And also, by the way, support from America. People coming to volunteer in our bases to make the barbecues and to this and give us all kind of like some gear in here and there. And how we get letters from all kind of schools in America, like elementary schools. We got a Weber one here. It's amazing. Gives us a lot of warmth. And we got to finish this up. We got to finish it fast because we're not good, like I said, in the long wars, because the reservists are getting exhausted, and we get exhausted, we're not going to have an army. Yes.
Then you mentioned that if you describe again about hellbound, I've heard this organization called SAR-L.
Sarel.
Yeah, we can volunteer to help out in the army base.
Yeah, there's a lot of organizations that come you can bring to Israel. Also, Chabad brings groups to Israel. The help and support. Also, you can come to my base if you want. Talk to me. I'll put you on my base and wash dishes. Just joking. But you wanna like this. What are you doing for a living, for example?
Do what?
What do you do for a living?
Retire.
Retire. What did you do?
Basic psychology.
Good. So if you come and sit down with my soldiers and talk to them, have a nice coffee with them, whatever, and say, oh, what are you doing from Atlanta sitting on our base? Talking to me because I want to be here. I want to help you guys. You know how much good feeling it does to my soldiers is know that the support comes from America. Also, not only the physical support and donations and those, but also coming and being and talking and understanding that people in Jewish Americans in America also are part of this war. Not with a gun and uniform, but they want to give also. They want to help also. Understood? We're a family.
You say, finish the job. What does that look like?
Finish the job means that, like I told you, right, going into a village and retreating back and forth, we cannot do that. Enough with this tactics of not being strong. We felt all throughout this war that the army, high command, and the politicians are like, hold the horses, are like stopping us from doing the job. Like, okay, we're gonna go. No, we can't because we gotta go. That's not the way to do it. We gotta be strong. You shoot missiles, we can destroy you. We felt like the high command is like, the 3 monkeys, Teen Oiville, those 3 monkeys. That's what we felt that the guys are doing in the past years. Enough with that conception and the defense concept I told you in the beginning with the Iron Dome and everything. We got to be strong and do what's good for us. No matter what the world's going to hate us. No matter what Hague is going to hate us. Oh yeah, the people are there for sure. The people are there before the government. But it's a problem.
So what's stopping the situation as you've described it to be more interactive with the hierarchy, so to speak? I mean,
The hierarchy, we
the
feel they live in a
politicians.
dreamland.
So that has to change. And
Right.
What would that look like? How could that transpire? So what you're describing become a reality.
So what's happening now in past couple days is already good because we have a new chief of staff that we brought into, like we pressured to go to vote him. He's a guy who knows how to fight wars. He's very tough. And now this war we need a tough guy, not a politician. Talk about the army. Also the politics guys. We have to understand that the guys who failed cannot win the war. The guys who brought this whole crazy situation to ourselves cannot be the guys who are fixing up the problem. Replace these guys. Also Bibi. Yes, also him. We got to replace him. He's like 17 years already a prime minister. Enough. Have the young generation come and do what's good for Israel. Not being political, not with America, yes, no. Biden, yes, no. Trump, yes, no. No, what's good for us. And that's what we think. That's people in my generation, a little old, like 50s and 60s. That's what we think. Bring the young, the guys who fought in the field into the Knesset, into the parliament. Because what happened in the past couple of years, they're actually promoting people who think like them. As you see, almost every chief general that finishes his position, he goes to which political area? He goes more to the left. Why? Because those guys are promoted. My gangs, my guys. If you think like differently, like Ofer Winter, like Guy Chazut, all kind of people who were very strong right-wing guys, they were not promoted to be high generals. So we gotta change that, and it's changing. It's starting to be changed, and it's good, and the truth will win. That's what I believe. Thank you for, yes.
Would capital punishment for terrorists be helpful, or would
That will be amazing. That will be amazing.
Say,
Very, very good. Okay, guys, this if we have a terrorist who kill Jews, and we shoot to kill, not arrest him, we kill him. Okay, or we have the penalty of like America has the death penalty. Okay, so now a young soldier, a 10-year-old boy, the guy who came in there, what does he see? What's his role models? Oh, I'm gonna be a terrorist, and if I get caught, they're gonna kidnap some guys from all kind of Jewish communities and then release me. So that's and when I'm caught in the jail, I'm gonna get a good salary. My parents are gonna get a good salary. That's their cycle of life. So if they know that if we arrest him, if he does terrorism, he's gonna be killed. It's not worth to kill Jews. You gotta make him afraid, and that's the way to do it.
Here, here.
Okay, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you. I know many of you signed up online and made a donation. If anybody wants to donate, all the money that's being donated is going to be passed on
For the unit.
for the unit.
To the wives, to the widows, to the injured soldiers. You're invited to.
So please do so.
You got this? Got this thing?
No, but we'll no, I
So
don't
if,
have this. Okay, I'll email this to everybody. You can donate directly to the unit, you can donate to Chabad, and we'll pass everything on to them. Tomorrow evening is the Women's Rosh Chodesh Society. Tuesday evening, we begin the new JLI course, Decoding the Talmud. Next Monday is Tu B'Shvat woodworking workshop here. And the following Shabbat is also a weekend Shabbaton with Rabbi David Taub. So please join us, and thank you all for coming. And thank you. Bye. Take some more breakfast.